you've booked the perfect dream cruise. A little adventure, a little relaxation, and you'll be making incredible memories to last a lifetime. But one slip up, one missed detail can turn that dream cruise into a nightmare. I don't want this to happen to you. So I've created the Countdown Cruise Checklist so you won't forget a single detail. And more on this later in the video. Now let's go into some essentials first. Number one, don't miss your payment deadline. That is so important. Otherwise, you lose the cruise and might even have to pay a cancellation fee. And if you just miss paying for an excursion, that can cancel your cruise. So know your payment deadlines. Check your passport expiration date. It needs to extend at least 6 months beyond your return date. If you don't have that, you might be denied going on the cruise or going into the country at a port. So make sure you check their passport expiration date. One more thing for your passport, make sure that your airline reservations and your cruise reservation match the name in your passport. I know my husband's full name is Ronald, but his passport says Ron. So you want to make sure you have the right name on all the important documents. And of course, if you're going into foreign countries, maybe they require visas. So make sure you have what you need to enter that country when your ship stops at that port. And I can't stress this enough either. Always arrive early. Unless you live right near to your port departure, arrive 1 to 2 days before, just in case you get delayed in your air transportation. I know it's happened to me. It seems like every time I fly, I get delayed. So you want to be safe. You don't want to get there and find out that your ship has already left the port. And make sure you buy travel insurance. You might buy that through your cruise line or separately. But if for some reason you would need a medical evac, it could cost tens of thousands of dollars. And the insurance is great if maybe a port gets canceled, then you don't lose your excursion money if you're going with a non-ship excursion, or even if you're ill, you might be covered for your expenses. So get travel insurance. Now you've got all those essential things covered, but it's time to do a little research and planning. Like I mentioned, does that country need a visa? If so, how do you get it? Where do you apply for it? Maybe your country is requiring certain vaccinations. Again, check those. You don't want to be denied entrance just because you're missing one vaccination. And to me, one of the fun things on planning a crew is to explore the destinations ahead of time. What ports are we landing? What are they near for sightseeing? What do I really want to see? So I do a lot of research beforehand to make sure I'm going to get an excursion that meets my needs. Oh, and one thing I learned, I'm going on a cruise that leaves from Bali, Indonesia, in March. And I had signed up for some excursions, and then I saw on one of my groups that I'm in, oh, they have the Vietnam excursions available. So I go on my cruise line page where I've paid for everything. I don't see those excursions. And it turned out I had to clear my cache, or is it cache, whatever it is, before I could see them. So just make sure that you clear your cache every once in a while to make sure you see all the excursions available to you. Now, talking about excursions, you can take the ship excursion and then you're sure you're not going to get to the port too late and wave as your cruise ship is leaving port and you're not on it. But I do like taking non-ship cruises. I like to go through something called Tours by Locals. No sponsorship or anything, that's just who I use and I've had good experience with. And this way I'm giving the money to the local operators. And sometimes it's cheaper, or sometimes I have more different sightseeing trips available or different activities. But always do your research. Go online. Make sure you've really vetted that cruise operator. Make sure there are no scams. Check them out before you sign up. And find out what their policy is to get you back to the ship on time. Now, this is something completely optional, but I really recommend it. I always belong to the Cruise Critic ship sailing group, where other people are on this discussion board that are going on the same cruise as I am, like in March. And I also do that if there's a Facebook group, because that way I kind of meet people ahead of time, right? By their different discussions. And I might learn about a meet and greet or a casino pull or a craft group or a non-ship planned excursion where members are going together to get that tour. So I think it's a great idea. Sign up on Cruise Critic and on Facebook. Let's talk about reservations, because when we're talking about excursions, you don't want to wait too long, right? You want to make sure that you don't lose out, right? They can fill up and you can want an excursion and not be able to get it. So don't wait too long to sign up for those excursions. And you can always cancel later if you find a better deal. And something else I always reserve early are the specialty dinner reservations. Now, on our trip in March, we have 2 specialty dinner reservations, and we're going on Norwegian. So any cruise of 11 days or more, with our inside stateroom, we can get reservations 120 days before. So I hurried up and did it because I wanted to make sure I got the specialty restaurants I want on the nights I wanted at the time I wanted, because I didn't want something at 8:30 at night. We like eating by 6:30. So I signed up and got what I wanted. And your cruise ship might be different. Some only allow you right when you board, so you want to do it right then. But Norwegian has it for, like I said, 120 days ahead if it's 11 days or more. If it's shorter than that, I'm not sure, it's 90 days, I think, if you have inside stateroom. But if you have a balcony club room, that's 125 days. And if you are lucky enough to be in one of the Haven suites, it's 130 days before. So know when you can make your reservations. And the same for reservations, know when you can complete your boarding paperwork, your check-in paperwork online for your cruise. Do it, make sure you have everything available, and then print it out and take a copy with you in your carry-on luggage. So when I'm talking about researching, also research the monetary policies of the countries you're visiting. Do they accept US dollars or Canadian dollars? What's their policy? I know in last spring we were to both Ireland, Northern Ireland, and the Republic of Ireland. And we found out that the Republic of Ireland is euros, but Northern Ireland is the pound sterling. And we actually had a trip operator that wanted to be paid in pound sterling. So it's good to know these things in advance. Now, a lot of countries will accept money from United States, but you might want to have some dollar bills, $5 bills, $10 bills for tipping available. Just a good idea to bring you some small currency. And of course, most of us don't pay with cash anymore, right? We pay with credit cards. So MasterCharge and Visa, they're accepted in most countries. But you want to make sure that your credit card doesn't charge expensive international transaction fees. Just check it. And then also call your bank, your credit card company, and tell them when you're going to be on vacation, what countries you're going to, so they don't lock your account because they're getting too many suspicious activity purchases from other countries. That could be disastrous. Now, in that case of the Northern Ireland tour operator and we needed British pound sterling, I went to our local bank and I got them ahead of time because the international transaction fee much lower, and took that with me on the trip. But you can also, of course, go to ATM machines and get the currency out of the country you're in, but expect some higher fees. Now let's talk a little about safety and contacts. You know, we all know in Canada, United States, 911. That's our emergency number, right? But that's not true in all countries. Indonesia is 112, Vietnam is 191, and Thailand is 113. I'm doing my research for my spring cruise and making sure I know, and I have them in my cell phone, the emergency numbers. I also do the same. I find the country's consulate or embassy numbers and address and have that on my trip or on my checklist and take that with me just in case. So if you're staying in a foreign country pre or post cruise, like we're going to in Bali, you should register with the S.T.E.P program, the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program. It will give you real-time updates on safety, weather, and emergencies in the country you'll visit. And if there's an emergency like a natural disaster, civil unrest, or even a family emergency, then the embassy or consul knows how to contact you. It's completely free. And of course, I also have the contact information for any non-ship cruise that I'm taking. Now, I want you to make the most of your cruise. One of the things is, watch your email. You might get an offer to do an upgrade bid for your room. We often go with the inside stateroom and then wait until the bidding process. And before, we've gotten a balcony suite that was a great room and at a great price. So make sure you watch your email if you want to take advantage of that. And also, be flexible on your cruise. Understand that weather can change. You might not go to the port you expected. You might have more sea days. So plan for that in advance. Now, one of the things I do for the airplane and the cruise, I download a lot of books on my Kindle. But most ships also have a library and you can get a book out there and you can go in a nice little nook and read and maybe even look out at the sea while you're doing it. It's really, really relaxing. Or maybe you decide to have a spa day. Or something I should do because of visiting the buffet too much is go to the gym and exercise. And if the weather's nice, maybe you plan just to lay out by the pool. But anyway, be flexible because you want to enjoy your cruise. I also recommend having a packing list, and I will make a future video on that. But it's really a good idea to have something you check off as you're putting stuff in your bags so you don't forget something essential. And in your carry-on luggage, I recommend, of course, you keep this cruise countdown checklist, your passport, and your health summary that tells about any conditions you have, any surgeries you've had, and your important medical contacts, and any cruise documents and prescription medicines. Always carry that on the plane with you. Now, when I'm planning for my cruise, I like to have a little itinerary that I carry with me that lists the day of the week and the date, because yes, sometimes the days all meld in together on a cruise. That way I know. And the port we'll be at, or if it's a sea day, And then anything special I'm doing that day. It could be an excursion with contact information. Maybe I'm in a casino pool. Maybe it's my specialty dinner reservation night. Anything that's important, I put on that day. And then I have a little checklist I can easily reference on the cruise. I have really found this helpful, and I give a copy to my husband so he knows what to expect. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And if you're interested in my cruise countdown checklist, all you have to do is email me at prepperpotpourri@gmail.com, and in the subject line, just put cruise checklist. And I will send it out to you lickety split. I'll send it out to you quickly, okay? And then you can fill us in. And this is something that is in Word, so you can use it multiple times on all the cruises you plan to go on. I think you will find it very, very helpful. And if you're planning on going to a transatlantic cruise, watch this.